ICE is here in Brazil thanks to a very generous grant from the International Connections Fund of the MacArthur Foundation in Chicago. And we have been talking and dreaming for many, many years about the possibility of bringing the group to Brazil to present premiere performances of their work, to research new music by emerging visionary composers in Brazil, and also, perhaps most importantly, to work with local music students and budding composers in as many cities as we could cover in this brief period of time.
Nice experience to be able to hear what you're communicating to us in a brand new piece.
So the tour started in Rio, which is where I'm from, which was actually where I had my very first performance of my music when I was 15 years old at the Panorama da Música Contemporânea. So it was in many ways sort of a coming back home, coming back to my roots. You want to do maybe a little bit of the beginning, and then a little bit of the middle, and then your cadenza at the end? I've lived in Chicago since 2002, and I'm now the director of the composition program at Columbia College Chicago. I've been there for 3 years now, and I love Chicago. I love the city, and a lot of people actually, when they hear that I'm from Brazil, they ask, "Oh, how do you deal with a big city like Chicago?" And I have to tell them that Rio is actually much bigger than Chicago. I was very happy to meet a lot of new Brazilian composers that I hadn't met before. I was also very happy to see that there are so many contemporary music groups in Brazil that I had no idea of. So in a way it was good, but it also made me a little sad to see that the bridge between Brazil and the US in terms of contemporary music, it's still not very solid, that there are all those things going on in Rio, but we're very unaware of. So yes, in Rio and in São Paulo, all these new ensembles sort of remind me a lot of some ensembles that I see back in the United States. When I see Abstrai in Rio de Janeiro, or when I see Camerata Aberta in São Paulo, I immediately make connections between groups like Dal Niente or ICE itself, even in terms of age level and the ideas behind programming.
Well, we've been fascinated by and inspired by the scene here in Brazil, and specifically by the community of emerging composers coming out of Brazil, many of whom have made careers for themselves in the States and in Europe and other areas of the world. Marcos Balter, Felipe Lara, Daniel Puig, chief among them.
Kind of a favorite link of mine. 61, 62, 63, 64. I mean, I don't want you guys go very crazy counting. It should still be a little bit. Yeah.
No, we've done this before though. So Jake, if I'm like.
I'm leaving the country hopeful, but I'm also leaving the country heartbroken to see so many opportunities going unexplored for many social, cultural, and political reasons. We have an immense pool of talent. I've met very, very talented people, composers and performers. We've been working with the kids from the experimental orchestra of the Amazonas Philharmonic, and I can see the passion in their eyes. Working with them is really invigorating.
The amount that is being invested into public education. Of course, the country has a long way to go, but what we've seen here in working with young people here in this gorgeous theater with the Amazonas Experimental Orchestra, and what we've seen in working with kids in workshops, both on the composition side of the spectrum, also on the improvisation and interpretation side of the spectrum, has been some of the most inspiring and humbling work that we've done as an ensemble anywhere in the world.
When I think of my own trajectory, I think it's an antiquated trajectory that I hope it kind of dies with my generation of the artists coming from the third world country that goes abroad and gets all the good education and actually ends up staying abroad and not bringing that knowledge to his or her own country. What I think is the true solution for the problems that I've seen here is really that bridge that I've been talking about. Not only bringing international artists to Brazil, but also bringing Brazilian artists abroad.
Okay, sure.
You can go further.
I should or I shouldn't?
No, no. This
Don't
one
overlap.
And I would much rather see those sort of exchanges going on in a much more fluid and truly democratic and non-colonialistic way.
It was really wonderful that our first concert here in Manaus, the audience was filled with people from all walks of life. And all the hanging over all these balconies. People who were here for the cardiology conference, people who were the parents of the young people playing in the orchestra, people who work at the local restaurants across the street. And that kind of cross-pollination of communities and cultures and economic strata is so exciting and so inspiring. This is the kind of audience that ICE wants to play for everywhere in the world. And the fact that these events are free and open to the public is hugely inspiring to me and to us as an organization. And I think that venues and presenters and ensembles in New York should take a cue from what's happening here.